Somewhere in the highlands of New Guinea, an anthropologist named Edward Schieffelin spent nearly a decade living among a group of people called the Kaluli. He wasn't there to study depression, he was there to study language and culture. But what he found, almost by accident, changed the way scientists think about the human mind. He interviewed over 2,000 people, men, women, children. He asked about sadness, about hopelessness, about the feeling that nothing matters and nothing will ever get better.
In 2,000 people, he found one person who came close to matching what Western medicine calls clinical depression. Now compare that to this. In 2025, the CDC released a report. It found that depression rates in America have risen 60% in the last decade alone. 1 in 3 American adults has been diagnosed with depression at some point in their life. Over 57 million Americans currently live with a mental illness, and antidepressant use has increased 400% since the early 1990s. 400%. The pills are everywhere, the awareness campaigns are everywhere, the therapy apps are everywhere, and yet more Americans are depressed today than at any recorded point in human history. So here's the question nobody is asking. If we have more treatment than ever, why do we have more depression than ever? And why did a group of people with no doctors, no medication, no therapy, and no understanding of brain chemistry almost never get depressed at all? The answer is not what you expect, and it is not comfortable.
Let's start with what depression actually is. Not the clinical definition, the evolutionary one. Researchers at the University of Kansas published a paper in the Journal of Affective Disorders titled Depression as a Disease of Modernity. The argument was simple and devastating. Depression, they wrote, is not a malfunction of the brain, it is a mismatch. Your brain is running software designed for a world that no longer exists. Think about that carefully. Your brain was built for a specific environment, small groups of 25 to 50 people, daily physical movement across open land, sunlight from morning to evening, food you had to find and work for, problems that were immediate and solvable, people around you at almost every moment of the day. That environment is gone, and your brain does not know it. What you have instead is a climate-controlled room, a screen that glows blue at midnight, a job that requires you to sit still for 8 hours, food that arrives without effort, and a social life conducted mostly through a rectangle you hold in your hand. Your brain is running ancient code in a modern machine, and the ancient code keeps sending alerts that something is deeply wrong. That alert is depression. Here is what the Kaluli had that you do not. The first thing is movement. Hunter-gatherer groups like the Kaluli walked an average of 5 to 9 miles every day, not as exercise, as life, as the way food was found and water was carried and the day was structured. Physical movement is not optional for the human brain. It is one of the primary mechanisms by which the brain produces serotonin and dopamine, the exact chemicals that antidepressants are designed to artificially increase. Ancient humans were naturally producing what we now manufacture in laboratories. The second thing is sunlight. The Kaluli spent most of their day outside. Sunlight hitting the skin regulates the circadian rhythm, produces vitamin D, and synchronizes the hormonal systems that control mood, sleep, and energy. The average American now spends 90% of their life indoors. The brain that evolved under 10 hours of daily sunlight is now running on whatever comes through a window in the morning. The third thing is the most important: community. In a hunter-gatherer band, you were never truly alone. You slept near people, you worked near people, you ate near people. When something bad happened, the people around you did not send a text. They showed up, they stayed, they absorbed some of the weight, because they had also shared the life that made the weight heavy. Loneliness in a hunter-gatherer group was not a lifestyle, it was a death sentence. Being separated from the group meant no protection, no food, no survival.
Your brain evolved to treat loneliness with the same alarm it uses for physical danger, because for 300,000 years they were the same thing. Now, loneliness is a lifestyle. The average American reports spending most of their day without meaningful face-to-face contact. The Surgeon General declared loneliness a public health epidemic in 2023. Studies show that chronic loneliness increases depression by the same factor as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. You are living in the exact conditions your brain was designed to treat as an emergency, and it is responding accordingly. Here is what makes this specific. The Tsimane people of lowland Bolivia were studied by researchers from the University of New Mexico. They are not pure hunter-gatherers. They farm some of their food, but they live in small communities, move constantly, spend most of their time outside, and eat what they grow and find. Their rates of depression are a fraction of American rates. Their rates of cardiovascular disease are among the lowest ever recorded in a human population.
Their brains, scanned in a 2023 study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, show significantly less age-related atrophy than American brains of the same age. Their brains are literally aging more slowly. They are not healthier because they have better medicine. They have almost no medicine. They are healthier because the conditions of their life match the conditions their biology was built for. In 1988, roughly 1 in 50 Americans was taking an antidepressant. Today, it is 1 in 10. The number keeps rising, the research budgets keep growing, the new medications keep arriving, and every year the surveys come back with the same finding. More people, more sadness, more of the specific, modern, indoor, sedentary, screen-lit, isolated sadness that the Kaluli people of New Guinea had almost no word for, because they had almost no experience of it. Edward Schieffelin did not go to New Guinea to prove anything about depression. He went to study language, but what he found in 2,000 interviews was a number so small it barely registered. 1. Out of 2,000 people living without electricity, without medicine, without any of the things we have decided are necessary for human well-being. 1.
We have built the most medicated, most therapized, most mental health aware society in the history of the species, and we cannot get close to that number. We are not losing a battle against depression. We are living inside the conditions that create it. And somewhere in the back of your brain, the part that still thinks it is on the savannah, still listening for the sounds of the group, still waiting for someone to show up and stay, that part already knows it.